Hey, this is Roger from Roger's Hot Rod Garage. Welcome to my little fun space down here. But check this out. Instead of doing a whole bunch of shorts, which I've been lazy, and that's what I've been doing lately, I'll get back to just a second here. That's a power steering pump off a 750i BMW series. You've seen the Corvette, you've seen the LS3 project, the 914, but check this out, the very reliable 1930 Model A Coupe with the BMW V12 is literally up on a jack stands. And this is something I've been working on now for about a year. Not actually been working, I've been postponing it and procrastinating for about a year right now. Way down in here, you see the power steering pump, which you briefly saw on the workbench. Notice right here, no play whatsoever. There, this is actually not black. This is actually the power steering fluid. It's some green crap. You see that? It's green. But anyway, that's that special stuff. There's my GM alternator, which is kind of, you can do the power steering pump without taking it off, but look, 15 minutes of taking this off gets you access to all these hoses back here. And these are these self-pressed hoses that run to my 520 BMW power steering block, which is really behind the firewall here, upside down. And then I've got this right here, and that little dent right there, that's actually there on purpose, running all the way to the front, doing my steering up here. This actually works perfectly fine. The only reason I took this pump out is because literally it was leaking. That's the only thing. So coming back from Switzerland last year, I just noticed a couple little drops of oil. See right here? And that kind of cued me off because there was little to no dripping out the bottom of the pan. But check this out. Let me go inside here. And I actually have a spare BMW V12 up in my other place, and what I did is I pulled this off 3 July 23, changed pump, and then leaks in front, and you can't tell right now, but hold on just a second, let me see if I can do this. Anyway, there it is. Ain't supposed to do that. So anyway, when the bearings get loose in here, the seal gets a little bit loose, and one thing leads to the other, and you basically will have a little bitty leak. Again, it wasn't that bad. Let me get my paper towels out here. It's not that bad, but I literally couldn't find a pump. Not that they're super rare, it's just that I went to Advanced Auto Parts, rockauto.com, even German manufacturers. So finally, a buddy of mine who has actually vendor and dealership access to a database got this company right here, and this is basically a remanufactured one, not this one, but the one that I just put on here. So Bob's your uncle. I've got it replaced on here, and let me hook up the tripod in the video and just show how I'm going to put the rest of this on here. Now, because I don't know how to read a weather app, I thought the sun was going to be shining today, so I got all this positioned outside right here, but I think it'll hold off pretty good. Also, it's 10:30 right now, and at 12:30 I've got a guy from work showing up here. I got to do some welding for that cat. But anyway, again, I didn't want to do another short video right here. This one will be probably about 5 or 6, 7 minutes. But if you enjoy the content, like, subscribe, and share, like I always say. But man, attention deficit disorder, high definition version of it. This is my 66 Stingray, and I'm just itching to get to working on this right here. Once I get done with this one, or wait a minute, I'll do this one first, and then I'll do this one right here. And then I pulled up the 1959 AVL Berliner 150cc, and I'm just charging the battery on at 6 volts right now. Maybe I can take that for a spin today too. But look, I'll stop yapping right now, ladies and gentlemen, and get the camera set up and bolt the rest of this thing together, and then do a little trial on it. That's just your GM one wire. Let's see if I get my hand up in here. Like that. That's good. And again, BMW motor running HEI distributors, 2 of them, one for the right side, left side, and there's my first sprinkle. And then flip this up here. And you don't have to hook up on the GM1 wires, but if you hook up this wire in the back right here, and then jump her over, just a second. Man, that's hard to see up in there. And if you jump her over, then this right here, jump her over, then you get that little idiot light on the inside. So let me go ahead and, you know what? Okay, now if you can see that, that goes in here, and at the same time I gotta hold this. That wasn't that difficult. And now right here, as you can see, I can cinch that up on here nice and tight. And this is stationary, there's no adjustment because I'm running a serpentine belt on the front of this thing. And if you look right here, it's nice and lined up right now already. And then this bottom right here, same thing. I've got my little special tools right here. So this one here goes in here. I've got one little bitty spacer. I'll stick up right up in here. You probably can't see that right now. So there it is right there. That's it right there. And then on the back of this thing, I got my little washer and the little smaller washer just because it looks cool. And then I cinch it up with this 13mm right here. Sorry for bumping the camera here. And then what I do is if I got a special one, I can remember color. So I got my green on here. I'll put that one right up in here. Like this. Come on, baby. Get up in there. And then this is just your typical 13mm. Flip that around. Now it's starting to rain. Well, so breaking the in the filming right here, it's starting to rain cats and dogs, so I got to pull everything in. And all right, the little rainstorm is over with. Yeah, I have a garage and I could have put it right in there, but you know, this thing can actually get rained on, and people go like, well, is it bad if it gets rained on? These HEIs are kind of bulletproof. Again, there's one HEI Chevrolet 6-cylinder here, and there's one on the other side right here. I've literally, for test purposes, went to the car wash and just blew water all up in here to see whether it would impact at all, and it doesn't. The only thing I do is if I know it's going to rain, or like I'm at a hotel, I'm traveling, I got these little plastic bags I just put over and keep them underneath the seat right there, and that's just so water won't accumulate up in here. But I've actually driven in a pretty good downpour, and these right here are blocked off anyway. If you can see these plates down in here, there's a plate right here, and instead of, you know, redoing my intake manifold, homemade intake manifold, I just got these two centers running right here. And if you look at the CMF rating on one of these right here, it's like, I think it's 225, 250. So this is a 500 CMF 4-barrel carburetor if you count these Rochester 2Gs. Anyway, long story short, I'm getting ready to fill up the power steering fluid. And no, I don't fill it up down here. I fill it up right here. And I just wanted to show you folks this. This is my BMW sunroof, and this is my access panel here. And you can tell the water stands up in here because I cut it pretty well sealed off. On the inside, I got these little bitty turn things I use, and see if I can pop it off from the inside. Just a second. Now, I can actually do this from the outside, but then I'll mess up my flat black paint with a screwdriver. And if you see right here, I just have these little pins right up in here. Again, this is basically a BMW sunroof. And let me just lay this up here. And what you're gonna get here is access to everything. So if you look over here, That's my Hot Wheels collection that I pass out at car shows. And if you notice, everything up here is dry, although it rained cats and dogs here for about an hour straight. And right here is my ATF. It says automatic transmission fluid, but this is where my power steering fluid goes in, because I'm not going to put the old crap back in here. And this right here is from a company called Coupe. It basically takes my pedal, my assembly pedal down here, turns it 90 degrees and pushes it this way. Otherwise, all this crap will be sticking out here. So it's a nice clean little solution. I haven't touched this power brake system since I built the car 14-15 years ago. I did check the fluid about 2 or 3 years ago. It's nothing leaking down there, so I'm not worried about it right here. I do have my line lock up in here. You see my line lock up in here? And that's basically so I can block these right here. And that's basically it in a nutshell. I see myself down here. I was wondering what was moving down there. And that's basically, I can access all of my cables back here, so you're not upside down doing the Nadia Comaneci Romanian gymnast thing, because when you get about 60 years old, that shit doesn't work anymore. Anyway, let me go ahead and close this off over here. Put the serpentine belt on, super simple. Again, it's wet down here, but I'm not worried about it. And get back with you in a minute. All right, so with BMW, hook to this little thing right here. This is a 13mm. Pull down, loosen the tension, and then if you can see that right there, that's all it takes. Just a little bit of that tension. And that's it, Bob's your uncle. So it's on there. And I'll go ahead and fill up the fluid on the top, and then go ahead and crank this thing up and take it for a test drive. But I can see right now, there's absolutely no play at all. And the other one had like 1/8 of an inch of play, if not even a little bit more than that. So, all right, so earlier it was raining. I was complaining about the weather. And now the sun is baking the back of my head, so I could put a hat on right now. All right, so pull off this little cover right here I just showed you, and lo and behold, it's empty in there because it all drained out. And then what I'm using right here is this stuff called multi-HF, not high frequency, but there's a picture of a steering wheel on it, so that's an indication of power steering fluid. It's hydraulic steering fluid, but no, actually this right here and that number right there is what you're supposed to put into BMW systems. So hold on just a second. It's some green looking crap. Yep, and it actually looks kind of dirty, but it's green. If you see that going in there, it's green. And if you're like me, anytime I'm on Amazon.de or eBay, I'm ordering 2. So I'm not in a situation like today is Sunday. You can't just go and get that one. That was a brand new one right here. Pop the seal on that sucker. Oh, thumb in. And let me fill that sucker up. And then I'll stop right here. Yeah, a little bit more. Put the cap back on here. Now I'll do a quick little cursory look up in here. Make sure everything's bolted down, all the wires are in, belt's back on. I tightened everything. The bottom is good to go, hoses are tight. Come back down here. No, it's not wet in here. It is wet in here because I had the trunk up and it rained and I forgot about it. But anyway, let's see what we're gonna do right here. I just know I gotta circulate the power steering back and forth here. Hey, so here we are about 2 hours later, and no, it didn't take 2 hours to completely finish this, but I think the last time you saw this, I had green shit gushing out the bottom after I inadvertently left on my vice grips, but that had nothing to do with it. I'll show you that in just a second. So if you look down here, the old power steering pump is back on there. I've got my alternator mounted back up in here. I just got to tighten everything back up. I'll run the serpentine belt back up there. I'm not going to show you how to do that. Then I'll fill again for the second time today put some of this multi-HF. I'm probably gonna order another can of this shit tonight. And sorry about the word shit, because earlier today I was cussing, and here's why I was cussing. This is the rebuilt power steering pump from this particular company right here. They do good work. They just missed one on the quality control. There's my receipt back from May of this year. And again, I just put it in today, 320 euros. So this one's going back, and here's the problem. It was leaking cats and dogs like right down here. So if you orientate the pump, it's laying like this right down here. And if you notice where I got my little arrow right down here, if I put my little super safety glass on with the bifocals in it, you'll see right between those dotted lines, and I'm sure the GoPro's probably not picking that up, I'm gonna try to hold steady. There's a hairline fracture all the way, splitting all the way down to that last dot right down here. And the stuff was just gushing out of there, ladies and gentlemen. So anyway, not cool, but it is what it is. So this pump will go back. In the interim, I can actually still drive the car. Also, what crapped out today, this is the rear handle for my trunk. It's been on there for 15 years. I kind of like MacGyvered that crap in here. It worked pretty good, great, but you can see where it broke right down here. So I'll try to fix that, not today, because I frankly don't want to do anything else in the garage today. I know that's, don't hold me to that, but that's the way I feel right now. Maybe I'll drink a couple more of these Rodlers. All right, let me try this one more time. Belt is on good. That's on, battery's hooked up, everything's tight. No crap on the bottom here this time. All right, let's try this. All right, so I got absolutely no leaks this time. And again, that's the old power steering pump right down in here. It's actually not that hard to get to, and that is just purring like a kitten right now. Anyway, so that's it. Let me close this off and bring the pump back tomorrow morning. All right, here we go. We had an exact 1 week break right now. So I basically bolted everything back in. You saw the carnage of the power steering fluid pouring out the bottom right here. So I put the old pump back in. It's in here. This is bolted on. This is literally, I've got it down to about a 20-minute process. But look what showed up. This is the new rebuilt pump number 2 from Spidal. And this one's nice and tight. It looks like the last time, if it's bolted in this way, right down here, there was a nice crack, oil pouring out, nice crack that went all the way down here, hairline crack, and that fluid was just basically pouring out of there. So look, I only need a couple of tools here, 4 or 5 of these, a 22, a 3/4, which also doubles as a 19 millimeter, and I'll take the pump out here. I got the battery disconnected right now, so I'll take the alternator out and just do that whole process one more time. Folks, I've cut this down to about a 15-20 minute process right now. It's not that difficult to get out of here. And again, I'll replace the pump probably this time, 4th time I've had the pump out. Not a big deal, but I'll just deal with it. And I went ahead and took off my cover. You saw that in the last video. And what I have a problem with is I ordered this special multi-HF, it's like a green power steering fluid that BMW says has got to go in that pump. So I just do exactly what the manufacturer says. Man, I ordered it. It showed up in this box right here, but here I've got a old carburetor I'm sending to a guy right now. It's not in here, but man, what did I do with that oil that came from Amazon.de or Common, you guys in the States? It's someplace in the garage. I just don't know where I put it. Squirrel brain, I call it, squirrel brain. I had it, I know I had it in my hand. It's not in the cabinet here, and it's just driving me crazy right now that I can't find that power steering fluid. It's not in my little collection here. It ain't in this collection over here, and it just drives me bonkers. And I'm gonna find it because I know it showed up. Anyway, so watch the rest of the video. I'll knock this out and keep you guys posted. You know, people ask me all the time whether my wife knows that I use her favorite baking dishes to drain fluids out of my cars. And I can tell you with a surety she doesn't watch my YouTube channel. So what she doesn't know won't hurt anybody. Grab a couple of these bolts right here. This is actually nice clean work. I don't mind doing stuff like this. What I hate is when your hands are all greasy and crap and you can't see what you're doing. That one's good to go. I got these out here in order. So some of these just a little bit longer than the other ones. Like for example, where the actual pulley goes on, these right here, they're a little bit shorter because I don't have to go through that thick mount right there. But all pretty simple stuff. Put that one in the top right there. I think that's where it goes, yeah. Okay, good to go. Now, I know from experience not to tighten that up. And I got to get to that rear bolt, which is kind of a pain. Not that I can't see it, but I just can't get to it. I do like to listen to music while I'm doing this, but since YouTube is looking at my channel really close right now, because the monetization, making money, and advertisement, I got to make sure I don't have any copyright. Johnny Cash, AC/DC, ZZ Top, Hootie and the Blowfish, the Hooters, which by the way, the Hooters are actually playing local here in Germany. I think it's next weekend, so I might go grab some tickets of those. If you don't know who the Hooters are, no, it's not Hootie and the Blowfish, it's the Hooters. It's actually a pretty good band from the, I'll call them the late 80s, 90s. Anyway. All right, here we are. Probably an hour and a half complete time. That includes a coffee break. But pump is mounted down in there right now. And check this out. This is this green multi-HF stuff I'm talking about. Look, so it's super clean. And like I said earlier, I still haven't found that damn liter of multi-HF green power steering fluid from BMW. So I'm gonna do, it's not a cardinal sin, but look, it's super clean. I just replaced it literally last week. So I'm gonna pour this back in here. Let me make sure the level's good. And let me go ahead and just crank this thing up real quick. This is not will it run, but this is the first crank right here, and I'll point this right there at the power steering pump. Let's see what kind of noises it makes. Alright, looking pretty good. I don't see a leak anywhere. It's nice and smooth. Now what I do want to do is, no, I think I'm actually okay with the alignment. I was playing with these right down here to get that serpentine belt aligned perfectly smooth, but let me just cycle this thing a couple times and we go from there. Look, everything seems to be okay right now, so I'm going to go ahead and button this thing, take it for a test drive. Alright, hey, check this out. I'm going to button up this video now. Getting on the Autobahn. I did my oil change about 3 weeks ago. Got the power steering pump replaced right now, so that's the thing. The only thing I got left is a bushing in the rear. Makes a little bit of noise, but no big deal. But anyway, hey, look, thanks for watching again.